I sent you an email.
You sent me an email and then you texted me to tell me to come find you in Zoom to tell me that you sent me an email.
Why are we summarizing?
Because if the email tells me to check my texts, you've condemned me to an infinite loop of Black Mirror technology forwardings.
You're a writer now. You're condemned to serve the sentence.
Word.
And that would be the least interesting episode of Black Mirror ever.
But a way cooler reference than Twilight Zone, right?
Anything pre-dystopian is passé.
Being my boss has made you very strange.
I am not being your boss. I am being your sister lying face down on her bed, twirling the spiral cord of my princess phone.
You're not old enough to know what a spiral cord is.
Oh, it's kind of you to pretend.
I try to be charming when I'm awakened from a very important nap by the beeping of the email and the chirping of the texting.
And the vessel with the pestle holds a pellet with the poison. Stop talking.
See, my little sister doesn't talk to me that way. My boss stalks me that way. I don't feel comfortable.
There's video.
Of what?
I am smitten.
Okay, and there's video of that?
If she's not actually bipolar and she's not actually a heroin addict, I mean, I don't know. You hit on her. You might know.
We're talking about Robyn Heller again.
Yes.
Okay.
And if she is not a bipolar heroin addict and she did not write that show, which seems to be the case, then she is a badass actress.
I told you that.
I mean, you have to watch it.
Watch what?
Her show.
She has a show?
Jesus. On YouTube. It's called Singing in the Wrong Direction.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw it live.
It's just videography. The sound is awful. But
why do I have to see it?
I forgot that you had hit me to it.
I sent you a song. I didn't know it was on YouTube. I saw the show.
Right. So, I mean, you don't have to watch it then.
Thank you.
I sent an email to her agent.
Okay.
She didn't write the show and she didn't write the songs. So I'm getting in touch with her. Do you know why?
Because you're smitten?
Because I'm smitten. I watched the show and she made me cry, and I could see the places where if I could have actually been able to hear it, she probably would have made me laugh.
See, that's why I hate the videography of the
And then I just had the beginnings of look how cool she is. And then I thought about running to tell Michelle that I just met someone because it's like exciting and it's right possible. And then I didn't feel a wave of guilt.
I sent you her email.
What?
Why did you go to her agent?
Oh, well, you don't just send someone a direct email.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's really not professional.
But it isn't really a professional call.
What?
And is it?
Okay, see, if my imaginary dead wife had mentioned that to me instead of just giving me the big happy thumbs up, encouraging, like,
It's
you know.
Coolest relationship I've ever heard of anyone having with a dead wife.
Well, it took a while.
I know.
But, okay. I have to go stew on whether or not I screwed everything up by contacting her through her agent.
All right. I'm going to go back to bed and wrap around the quiet core of my anxious darkness.
Oh, there's the offhandedly lyric Daniel I grew up under.
Ah, you grew up under me. I grew up under Dad.
Mom grew up under the influence.
Dad grew up under duress.
Who was under Milkwood?
Dylan Thomas.
Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Fuck the dying of the light. They're using it in car commercials. Now, as I was young and easy under the apple bough about the lilting house and happy as the grass was green the night above the dingle starry, time let me hail and climb golden in the mercy of his means.
Okay, when we're doing the writer's room Zooms on Tuesdays,
yeah,
if you start reciting Yeats again, I'm going to mute you.
Not one other person in that room knew it was Yeats.
Yes, and yet every other person in that room knew it was inappropriate showing off in the writer's room.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, don't make me fire you.
He had Blent in his script.
It was a typo.
So I said, and it seemed that our two natures blent into a sphere from youthful sympathy, or else, to alter Plato's parable, into the yolk and white of one shell.
Have you ever written in a writer's room before?
I have not.
Let me just put this into your language, because speaking now as your boss, I will strive to speak in the language you, the employee, will understand.
Okay.
The ego that would have us always know that he's by far the smartest on the call must unlearn habits learned lean years ago when personal attention could be all that drove its days. Now, quieting your wit, you'll see your colleagues not as foils, and they'll inspire you with tools and tricks to build your kit. But bring the Yates again, and I will fire you.
Did you just start a pissing contest in the shape of an iambic smackdown?
Does it bother you that I know you got the Dylan Thomas stanza wrong?
Fuck.
Where was Golden in the heyday of his eyes? Where were the wagons?
Yeah, that's all first stanza. It's a good call. I lost my way and improvised.
Yeah. So, but at work, if you're not on task for the completion of that episode at hand, sit quietly with the other guys while other people contribute. You don't need to fill. You don't need to stand out. You just need to do the work. It would be best if you went.
When did you start getting your poetry skills sharp?
Do you know how many words rhyme with Heller?
12? 17? 63? I give up. Crap. Propeller,
Oh
bestseller? It's probably a lot.
Go away.
Don't spiral. It's fine. You went through the agent.
Really?
I have no idea. I don't know how lesbians do things.
Neither do I.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going away. The flagon with the dragon holds the brew that is true.
Ooh, the Nazis in the garden seek a presidential pardon.
Keep the virus undesirous or this flu will undo.
Oh!
Nice. See you later.
This is going to take some explaining. I know you wish you were a rock star, playing in the light, but you can sing wherever you are, and it might sound alright. I know you wish you were a hero, conquering the sky. I know a man who knows no fear though, and he just wishes he could cry. I know you get frightened, the days grow dark and strange, but when you're enlightened, you'll find nothing's changed. Got it? Oh, no, I get that I'm in an institution of some sort, ma'am. My questions are these. First of all, why is everybody doing a southern accent? Well, what the hell am I doing in Tennessee? Wasn't I supposed to fly out today? I'm pretty sure that shuttle was supposed to take me to the airport. Well, isn't it possible that you're confused and this is the airport? No, I'm not buying it either. Right. Afternoon snack. Well, that is very generous of you. No, wait. I do have another question. I've been in places like this before, and they always take away my shoelaces. they say it's so I won't hurt myself. No, I don't want you to take them away. I am not going to hurt myself. I'm just saying, if taking them away is always for my safety, then isn't leaving me with my shoelaces and my belt a passive-aggressive act of hostility? Okay, bye. Oh wait, are you locking the door? Don't lock the door. I don't like to be locked in. Makes me want to escape. They locked the door. Wasn't the first time I'd been locked in, but it was the first time I was locked in an institution in Tennessee. Once I was locked up in Canada, they are very polite about it. In the US, you show up voluntarily for rehab or to wait for the airport shuttle in a hotel lobby dressed for an Ethel Merman-themed wedding. And they glare at you and hustle you off to a locked room in a locked ward, leaving grip-shaped security bruises on your arms. In Canada, you stand naked in a public fountain singing the score from Sweeney Todd. Some very polite people come and gently escort you to a men's facility where they politely lock you up, eh? That's the main difference between being locked up in the US and Canada. In US, the mentally ill, the drug addicted, and the violent criminals are all dealt with the same judgmental attitude of cruelty. The nurses, the residents, the cops, the security guards, they all figure you are dangerous and undeserving of respect. They figure the real reason you've fallen under their care is because you failed to follow the proper rules of society. And they don't care if it was by choice. They don't care if it was caused by a chemical imbalance or by a brain tumor or a lifetime of unfulfilled need. They just know that you are here and they're in charge of keeping you in line until it's time for you to leave. And by you, I mean me. I want to start this whole thing off implying that you all are a bunch of mentally imbalanced junkies who spend time in rehabs and mental institutions. That would be a really weird way to start a show. And it could totally alienate you, I suppose. I get that, I really do. I understand that most of what I'm going to reveal tonight would be completely insulting if I said it about anybody else. If it were true, it would be revealing shameful personal history. If it weren't true, I would be cruel, implying what? That sickness is a personal flaw, mental illness is the result of bad decision making. The moral discomfort with these topics, the puritanical disdain with both mental illness and drug addiction lies so deep in the zeitgeist, it can be expressed with zero sense of irony by regular drinkers, cigarette smokers, narcissists, functioning depressives, people who wouldn't last 1 week of withdrawal from their Xanax or their Paxil or their Ativan or their Adderall or their Wellbutrin. For the record, this is not a show about addiction, although that is going to come up. But when they came to take me away from the hotel lobby in Nashville, I was already sober 8 years. They took a lot of blood tests to show that I wasn't on anything. My medical records will confirm that I was not on any drugs at all when I went to wait for the airport shuttle in that lobby in Nashville in my bathing suit in December. Yeah, I'm getting really insistent about this. That's how deep the judgmentalism goes. Even I find myself saying, don't get me wrong, I wasn't having a bad trip. I was having a legitimate psychotic break. As if the latter is somehow morally superior to the former. I thought that I had to start with the addiction for this show, but that is wrong. I actually have to start with the bipolar disorder, which is at the root of it. When I was a kid, I would fly into rages. I remember one time in 82, 84, somewhere around there, in my room I had a plane, big. not a full-size plane. That would be weird. How would that even work? A decent model of an airplane. Now, I don't know what kind. Not a jet, though. It was a propeller thingy. I loved it. Something about holding that plane, spinning the propeller, allowed me to sink into my own fantasy world. A private place where no one was calling me weird or too big for my britches or whatever people were calling me at the time that made me pretty sure I was a freak. I remember holding the plane. I remember spinning the propeller. I remember making it fly. Upstairs, Mom! Later, I'm in the middle of something. Mom, I said, later. I will help. I am just, right now, wait, you listen to me, Mom! I am not making a big deal about this. Will you stop talking when I'm talking? You always do that. I hate it when you do that. I'm just saying I'm in the middle of something. Oh shit, what did I do to my plane? No, I'm okay, Mom. I just broke my favorite thing. Stupid freak. I'll be down in a second. Mom, I'm sorry I yelled at you back then. I didn't mean to, you know. There's a darkness on my mind some days. Sweet depression like a blinding haze. So if you ever find me wandering in a moron's gaze, will you just hold me through the night? There's a side of me I seldom show. I just sort of figured you ought to know. If you're forewarned that every now and then my fuses blow, will you just hold me through the night? You could be everything to me, but you should know I'm not like all the girls on your TV. There are months when I'm afraid all the time. My mood can swing at the drop of a dime. So if you find me crying just 'cause I can't find a rhyme, will you just hold me through the night? Will you just hold me through the night? I had these outbursts as a child, and they would not let up until I'd broken something that I loved. Escalate, 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 self-sabotage, followed by regret, spiraling into depression. As I hit puberty, the bipolar episodes worsened. So I was not just a freak at home, I was also a freak at school. I played cornet in the school band, and when those loud notes blew through me, I was alive with the rush of it. One day, after band practice, I found out how that horn sounded in the stairwell. I blew the blues, I sang, I blew some more, and then I'm not exactly sure what happened. Maybe I was dancing on the landing. And I went down the stairs, horn first. I remember pain and screaming. I remember Mr. Dubacek coming in and finding me. Then there are some gaps in my memory, but my parents liked to tell the story of how I kept saying I wanted to go back in the stairwell because the sound was just too good. The shock wore off about the time they were loading me in the back of the van to take me to the hospital. Turns out I had broken my jaw in a bunch of places. Oh. There was bits of bone sticking through the skin. It started to throb, and it started to pound. And then I vaguely remember thinking, oh, I sound like a startled cat when I scream. Then a needle went into my arm, and a few seconds later, have you ever been traveling for so long that you forget how relaxing it feels to be safe in your own home? You don't realize that you've been carrying this tension of disorientation, alienation, until you unpack your bags, you get into your own shower in your own bathroom, and melt into this feeling of rightness. The needle hit my vein, the morphine hit my brain, and I was home. No, it's okay, Mom, I feel great. Well, not my jaw. My jaw hurts like hell, but I feel good. This stuff they give me for the pain is amazing. It's like I don't hate everybody all the time. And I don't feel like they hate me. And I don't hate me. I don't wanna. I don't feel like I want. It's just good not to be in screaming pain all the time, you know. When did I say that? How did this become about you being a good mother? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh. Oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. No, I'm fine. I don't need anything. But wait. Yeah, bring me an alarm clock, would you? They let me push the button for the drip every 4 hours. And last night I accidentally slept through one. Oh, good. Here we go. Allow me to do a little bit of housekeeping. I have several areas set up here. Right here, where I just got my first solid dose of opiates, this is all of the institutions. The hospital, where they wired my jaw shut, rehabs, mental institutions, and appropriately enough, that is where I keep my band. Over here is all of my rooms. My childhood bedroom, the hotel rooms when I was touring, the cheap apartments that basically had a futon on the floor that I didn't even bother unpacking. Places where I watched TV and shot up, took showers, nodded off. You get the picture. Back there is where I made my living. That's where I stood in the spotlight and held the attention of strangers. That was where I reveled in the love of the crowd. It was my other great addiction. The warm, safe haze of heroin was only matched by the safety I felt behind a microphone. It was protection, and that too was home. Another year in LA, dear. Another singularly perfect clear day here. I would trade my own mom for a cloud, the jostling crowd to push through. Another year without a season, and it starts to feel I'm losing my reason. Oh, to see one bright leaf turn to gold, to hear that the cold front is due. And if you wanna make me glow, tell you a story. I traveled around with a partner performing for a while, Ted Fenelworth. He was a guitarist. Oh, amazing guitarist. Terrific singer, too, although he didn't sing. Well, he did, but not into a microphone. I sang into the microphone, and he played guitar behind me and sang. But he wasn't a backup singer. So. I was standing there, singing into the microphone, singing my heart out for the crowd. He was playing guitar behind me and singing quietly so that I could hear him, but nobody else could. It was incredible. It was like I was having this whole other richer experience than the audience was. And I toured with Ted. This is a big deal because I was fulfilling the dream that my mother had denied my father when they got married. I was 4 years old when my dad sat on the edge of my bed and told me about his days as a saxophone player. And there I was doing it. I was writing songs in hotel rooms. I was playing gigs, mostly awful gigs, in these little dives where they wanted rock or straight country. But with Ted behind me, I could bring them into what I was doing. I was I was doing folk, jazz, things that could pass as show tunes, but I was so present. Now, I had been doing heroin since I'd gotten my jaw broken. Not because I wanted to do heroin, but because it's hard to find a dealer in Schenectady, New York who can hook you up with a proper morphine drip. And they notice when you wheel that thing into school. But I'm driving all over the country with Ted. I'm young, I'm energetic, I'm doing what I want, and I'm not shooting up at all. Do not get me wrong, I kept the kit and the stash in my luggage the whole time and wanted to make sure it was there in case I needed it. I was still an addict, at least addicted. I thought about it once or twice a day. You know, the way you idly contemplate suicide as you're going to sleep at night. Just me? But it's amazing. And all this time, I had no idea Ted was quietly, secretly falling in love with me. So one night after a show, I go out with a guy from the crowd. I am a musician on the road. It is what we do. And I get back to the hotel room late that night, early the next morning, really, and I find Ted. I called the ambulance, but I already knew it was too late. You can tell by the bluing of the fingertips, the slack muscles in the face that never go completely slack when you're alive, even if you're asleep or nodding. Also, I knew how much was in that stash, and it was all gone. My needle and my kit on the floor beside him, also for me. Professing his love, telling me he'd been planning to propose to me that night when I went off with someone whose name I don't even remember. He had bought the ring a couple weeks earlier, but he was waiting for a package before he proposed. His mom sent her own wedding veil. It arrived at the hotel check-in desk that afternoon. Then I went off with, and he was alone in a hotel room with a ring and a veil and my kit. The shame for me does not lie in the fact that I never knew he was in love with me. It doesn't lie in the fact that he used my kit, my needle, to quiet his pain. The shame for me lies in the fact that before the ambulance got there, I hid the kit. I wept for the loss of my best friend, my partner, the man who sang in the back of my head every night. hit in the needle. I might need those. We went tripping in the New York night. The city turned into a grid. We were immortal, as cool as starlight. We didn't know that we were kids. We traded secrets and we stared our hands. We sang like wolf pups to the moon. We talked for hours of our convoluted plans. It seems we spoke too soon. Now all the voices in my head, all the voices in my head, all the voices in my head sing like you. Slow motion wrestling on spring soft ground, synchronized and so controlled. Oh, so certain we'd both always be around, writing songs and growing old. Still all the voices in my head, all the voices in my head, all the voices in my head sing like you. You were the first to tell me I could be strong and let the songs out brash and grand. Perhaps you planned your great escape all along. I fear you hoped I'd understand. Now I'm left to wonder if you were asking me to talk you off that cliff. Still all the voices in my head, all the voices in my head, all the voices in my head sing like you. Still the voices in my head, please. Still the voices in my head, all the voices in my head.
The reaction to that song surprised me. All of the complex jazz I've been doing, the intense melodic melodies, and that simple bit of confessional composition really affected people. I played it at a showcase night in Seattle. And the guy who booked the room said, "That was great, kid. It's really beautiful and dark. You should go to LA. I know a guy there." So I let him hook me up with this guy in LA, and I went to LA. So too, apparently, did my bipolar addictive personality and my issues with impulse control. I went to the hotel cafe, played my songs, and the guy said, "Excellent, let's hook you up with a residency." So I had to chart all of my music for this little backup trio. And I sang there every night with them playing behind me. none of whom sang in the back of my head. And I had to hear myself clear and painfully singular exactly the way the audience heard it. And just pretend that I wasn't waiting for somebody to notice how pathetic I was on my own. You know what helps with that? Heroin! Do you know what isn't all too hard to find in the 1990s in LA? One time, at the coffee gallery backstage in Altadena, I mistimed my mix. As the guy was announcing me, I felt the rush of it hitting my brain. I couldn't hear properly. I was caught up in the warm thudding of my own heartbeat. This was my show that night. Thank you. Good night. That was it. Most of the time I was fine. And by fine, I do mean totally fucked up. Sure, I thought of shooting up as getting well, and I thought of rehab and sleepaway camp, but I was functioning, you know. I could get up most nights, sing my ass off for 2 or 3 sets, get a check, and all that. So as far as making a living singing was going, I was fine. I kept thinking the problem was heroin. My friends who knew about it thought the problem was heroin. My friends would check me into rehab. I would check myself into rehab. I wasn't terribly good at rehab. No, I don't want to snack. I want to go home. I want to get well. Oh, no, this is not getting well. I know how to get well, but you won't get me any of that stuff, so. Listen, I just said I don't want a snack. That's not a snack. Anyway, that's a paper cup of crushed ice. Ice is not a snack. Ice is a hard beverage. It's not the good kind of hard beverage either. Okay, look. I appreciate what you are doing for me. But I've changed my mind. I want to leave. I've had enough crushed ice. I figured out the recipe. Now that I got that down, I'll go home and open my own rehab facility. No, don't. Come on. No. Don't laugh at. I said I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I escaped. I escaped from a locked room in a locked ward in a locked wing of a gated rehab facility. I have a unique genius for doing stupid shit. I went through rehab 14 or 15 times. I would get clean. I would stay clean for a while. Then the real problem would hit me. A bipolar disorder that stalked me like a personal shadow. One time on the road, I decided I would record a new song in my hotel room. I figured I have a laptop with the new multi-tracking software. I can be an entire jazz band by myself. So I got out my credit card and I bought the software, the microphone, the keyboard, the guitar, the drum kit, and a trumpet. Yes! Well, does room 407 not notice that it is awesome noise? Well, listen, if you came down here, I think you would... No, I'm saying they are getting a free live concert through the wall. They should be thanking me and sending me champagne. You should tell them that. Well, they might. Now, listen, I don't think you need to... Oh, there's no need to yell at me. Fine. Crap! That wasn't heroin. That was me, stone sober, drumming in my hotel room, thinking that the people in the next room over should appreciate the art. That's the manic side. The depression spoke to me all the time. To me, the daily contemplation of suicide is normal. I really don't understand people who don't think about ending their lives. I keep myself from doing anything about it by tricking myself into survival. For the longest, so far so good. For the longest time, I didn't do anything because I didn't want my dad to feel grief. Then he drank an entire bottle of Jameson's Irish whiskey and drove off a cliff outside Boulder, Colorado. Then I didn't want to leave my mom all alone. That would seem like a dick move. The closest I ever came to making the big exit, I had the bathtub filled. I had an X-Acto knife ready to go. I couldn't figure out whether to get into the bathtub clothed, strip down to my underwear, or let somebody find me naked. The only thing that kept me from killing myself was I didn't know what the dress code is for the inside of the closet. Most people I know think of suicide as the coward's way out. I only wish I were that brave. I don't want it to hurt. And I don't want to have time to regret it. I'm not going to jump off a building and have 3 seconds to go, but wait! Also, suicide success rates are very low. Post-attempt disability, very high. And frankly, I'm not all that able to begin with. Check. Save your queen, lose position. Or save your knight and keep the pressure on. Either way, you're going to lose in 5 moves. Oh, good move. It's not going to help you though because, hello, Nix. Yes, I'm aware that I'm completely alone nonetheless. What is it about this that bothers you? That the dude I'm playing is imaginary, that the board and the pieces are imaginary, and that I'm up $230. It didn't matter what kind of facility I was in, the nurses all found me damned entertaining. Here's something that I didn't realize until I started working on this show. When I was a kid, I entered a talent competition at school. I had seen The Seventh Seal. I written an incredibly imitative, very dark, one-person sketch in which I played a girl who played chess against Death. Death was not in the scene. His lines were implied Bob Newhart style without the comedy. I was literally doing stand-up tragedy. Because I wasn't sitting down either. As an 11-year-old. Okay. It's like I'd done all the advanced character work that I need before I was later institutionalized. When you're like me, the nature of reality can be somewhat fluid. Perception can be unreliable. For example, intellectually, I know you're all here with me right now. There's a little part of me that's worried I might be overdosing in a bed in 2004 somewhere, and you all are part of some occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge hallucination. Intellectually, I know you're here, but for a while there, back in the place in Tennessee, at this time, I came across a book that had a lasting effect on me. Touched by Fire, written by a psychologist, Kay Redfield Jameson. It was about the connection between bipolar disorder and creativity. Not that she called it that. She wrote it back in the time when they were still calling it manic depression, but same thing. And she wrote about a whole list of great, brilliant artists. Michelangelo, Pollock, Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent van Gogh, Lewis Carroll, all of whom were basically the same. Brilliant artists, bipolar or depressive, self-medicating with opiates of one form or another. All of them attempted or committed suicide. So this made for me the connection. No, thank you, I do not want to send it. I'm in the middle. So anyway, it's someone from security here. There is a nurse heckling me in the middle of my show. Don't grab me. She's the one who's interrupting my solo show. Wasn't there a stool with water right here a minute ago? Oh. So you see, it's quite possible that a nurse may come in any time now, give me something and make you all go away. Again. And it complicates things further that I don't really remember everything that happened while I was, in there. I think the clinical term is batshit crazy. It's possible that you are a delusion that I won't remember having by the time I'm here telling you. And here's the thing, I really like you people. I feel comfortable with you. I feel comfortable being myself when I'm with you. Because, well, hi. Hey. I know you people. You're good people. I can be myself with you people. Ooh, do you want something? I think there is beer in the fridge. The only place that I am sure I'm not is back there. I know I'm not there because I don't feel ashamed. You have to understand, I was raised on Miles Davis and Billie Holiday. And here I was, high as a kite. In the sun by the sea, from the soft memories, when the porpoise speaks free, and we all agree it's a dream come true. It's in Malibu, where the surf meets the sand, and the laughter is canned. Even Santa seems tan when his reindeer land, and he's played by a Jew. It's in Malibu. You should hear
Christmas in Malibu. Barbecue up, turkey feast and surrounding embers. Propaganda going east one of these Decembers. I watch mischievously as your eyes fill with glee when you unwrap and see your gift's the key to a Lexus for you. Christmas in Malibu. You can hear us sing a carol, sizzling of love. You can hear us sing a carol, leave us and comes on. As my eyes light with glee, I can see THE. You've gotten for me, prescribed legally. Let's take a hotel or two. Christmas in Malibu. That song still makes me a little bit of money every year around the holidays. But seriously, where's the art? Where's the heroin-fueled truth-blowing? What was I doing? A little jazz ditty about Christmas with homophobic tittering undertones that I could sing from behind a heroin haze while doing a vocal impression of somebody I wanted to be. Don't get me wrong, I liked my songs. I always liked singing them. But what was I doing? I wasn't telling the truth. I was keeping a secret. I was mentally ill. I was an addict. If I'd been really honest, my act would have been something along these lines. Hang on a second, people. I got a packet of something around here that'll allow me not to hold you all in contempt. I got in trouble as a little kid at school. My teachers didn't understand my sense of cool. I got attention by playing the fool and refused to relinquish the floor. Saying, everybody look at me, it's what I live for. Everybody look at me. Everybody look at me, I'm Sandy Morrow over here. Everybody look at me. I take the stage for an hour at a time. The people pay me feels a scam, a cheat, a crime. In truth, I think I'd give up every single dime for just five minutes more of everybody look at me. Hey, ain't I fancy up here? Everybody look at me. Everybody look at me. And thanks for coming out tonight, folks. Everybody look at me. But then the jokes become a shield. The adoration that they yield is nice, but little's risked and nothing's gained on the whole. And every melody's a lie, acoustic trickery that's far more hidden than I, and lets me hide in it the truth of my soul. And everybody hears the tune. Where did I go? Everybody look at me. How can it get all that warm applause while I still feel I'm dying here? Look at me. Now I've been playing all these little songs for years, protecting secrets like some silly childhood fears, until I dare to voice the truth as no one hears. and expose myself down to my core. So, everybody look at me, I'll try to show you something real. Everybody look at me. Everybody, this is what I really look like. Everybody look at me. Everybody look at me, it's what I live for still. Everybody look at me. Everybody knows the truth is seldom pretty. Just the same, please look at me.
It would have been weird. But at least maybe I would have been able to live with myself a little bit better. Then about 16 years ago, I stumbled across a book that changed my life. Touched by Fire. Hang on. Did I tell you about this already? I mean, that was when I was back there, but you could hear that, right? The K. Redfield Jameson book about creative geniuses. Okay, good. So, that allowed me to know that I wasn't the only person in history ever to feel like this. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Also, it allowed me to romanticize my own mental illness and addiction. I could put myself into the noble tradition of Sylvia Plath. That made me interesting and dark. Not just a club singer whose greatest skill was the ability to vomit casually. I made my living singing while I was a junkie. Then I got sober. I got medicated for the real problem. Then the medication went a little bit toxic on me, and I lost my mind for a minute or 12. That was the thing that made me unhireable. That's not right. It's like people think bipolar disorder is contagious. And by people, I mean club hookers, so hardly people at all. It's like they think if they hire me, they're gonna have to shake my hand and they'll catch it. That's ridiculous. It's not like they can't wait until I'm not looking, get some Purell and wipe the crease. This is all I ever wanted. The spotlight, the microphone, the music. No. The applause. Now that I can't have it, it's hard to remember that I didn't do anything wrong. Part of me feels like I'm in my childhood bedroom again. Maybe those tantrums and the psychotic break came from the same source. I don't know. It's not like I could go back there and comfort that little girl, tell her that it wasn't her fault. Sometimes I lie in bed in my tiny, tiny studio apartment and I look up at the ceiling and I remember the starched institutional hallways with the fluorescent lights and the anger and the confusion, and I think, oh shit, what did I do to my career? I know I didn't do anything wrong. But it all feels like remorse. Oh shit, what did I do to my life? That was was my favorite thing. Sober, about 10 years. Weekly therapy, maintenance dose of lithium to keep me sane. A little bit shaky all the time, but fairly stable. So I have decided not to make the big exit yet. At least not till the end of the run of the show. That would make the director really bummed out. But this feels like a big step for me. Standing here, sober, telling the truth. And I think we all know the journey of 1,000 miles doesn't start until you dress appropriately for the airport shuttle. I live with my chemical imbalances under control. My addiction always there, humming quietly, making promises, asking for commitments. People come up to me after shows and talk about envy. They talk about dreams they abandoned and wish they'd pursued. They tell me they wish they had my talent, my life. And I thank them. And I chat with them. And I understand. Because they get to go home to houses, mortgages, to spouses, and I don't know, dogs, kids. I know you wish you were a rock star, playing in the light, but you can sing wherever you are, and it might sound alright. I know you wish you were a hero, conquering the sky. I know a man who knows no fear though, and he just wishes he could cry. I know you get frightened, the days grow dark and strange, but when you're enlightened, you'll find nothing's changed. I know you wish you were John Lennon, easy if you try. You just let yourself imagine. No one says you have to die. You dream of Hollywood perfection, flashing bright with fame, behind the glamorous projection. The flaws and fears are all the same. I know you question each decision. You work so hard and things seem worse. That's the human condition, dear. Not some private curse.
Sometimes